This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, good morning, boys. Okay.
Good morning, Rabbi Glatstein.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here. I came from the other side of the whole world. I actually just flew here from New York City. It's over 20 hours in the plane. And the plane goes about 500 miles per hour. In 1 hour, the plane travels more than 500 miles. And it took me over 20 hours to get here. So I'm very happy to share with you something very interesting. You know, we have one of the most important Sfarim we have is Sefer Tehillim. Does anybody know who wrote Sefer Tehillim? Who? Tell me. Wow. In New York, they don't know that. Wow. David HaMelech wrote Sefer Tehillim. That's amazing. Now, David HaMelech in Sefer Tehillim talks about how sweet Torah is. And you know how sweet it is? He says it's even sweeter than honey. They know everything already. It's even sweeter than honey. That's right. So, the Chafetz Chaim, yeah, you know who wrote the Chafetz Chaim is. I was just in the preschool class and there was a picture of the Chafetz Chaim. The Chafetz Chaim says, what does it mean Torah is sweeter than honey? The Chafetz Chaim says an amazing experiment. He said, if you take a big jar of honey and you put a piece of bread in the honey and you keep it there long enough, do you know what's going to happen to the piece of bread? It's going to dissolve, it's going to disappear, and it's going to turn into honey. Then the Chafetz Chaim says, imagine if you took a piece of meat. Do you like meat? Yeah, what kind of meat do you like? Steak. Okay. Ribs. If you took steak and ribs and you put it in a jar of honey and, no, don't worry, and you let it sit there in the honey for a week, a month, for a very long time. Do you know what's going to happen to the meat? It's going to disintegrate, it's going to disappear, and it's going to turn into honey. Now, if you then ate the honey, would you become fleishiks? No, because you just ate honey, you didn't eat meat. What if you took a piece of meat that wasn't kosher?
Then
a piece of pig.
Then yes.
1 second. And you
then
put it, you put it in the honey, and you let it sit there for a very long time. You know what's going to happen to it? It's going to dissolve.
But
it's going to disappear.
But it's not.
And it's going to turn into what?
Honey.
Honey. Could you eat it?
No.
I also would have thought you can't eat it. And the Chafetz Chaim says you could eat it. You know why? Because honey, even though it looks like a very nice food, it's the most powerful substance in the whole world. It could transform anything into the sweetest thing. The Torah, though, is sweeter than honey. You know what that means? If I learn the Aleph Beis is also Torah. And I learn how to read Torah. And I start really putting my energy into the Torah. And I put my heart into the Torah. And I'm thinking about it. And I'm excited about it. And I love it. And I'm like going into a jar of honey. You know what's going to happen to me? I'm going to turn into Torah. I'm going to turn into honey. I'm going to become really sweet. And I'm going to become a big tzaddik. And I'm going to become a big Talmid Chacham. So my bracha to all of you is that we should be very focused on our learning. We should love it. We should be excited about it. We should think about it. And Be'ezus Hashem should be mevarich all of you, that you should grow up to be very sweet, like honey, and big Talmid Chachamim, and Be'ezus Hashem, Gedolei Yisrael. Thank you for having me, and Aksiv Achsima Taiva. Thank you.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.